Debugging MCP servers shouldn't require jumping between terminal windows and manual configuration tweaks. We'll explore FastMCP's development mode, where you can launch your server with automatic dependency isolation, connect the MCP inspector for real-time testing, and even specify Python versions or project directories, all from a single command. The examples ahead show exactly how to set up editable packages, requirements files, and custom configurations while keeping your local environment clean. Hash run dev server with editable mode and additional packages. FastMCP dev server, PyE, with pandas with matplotlib. Hash run dev server with FastMCP, JSON configuration, auto-detects. FastMCP dev. Hash run dev server with explicit FastMCP, JSON file. FastMCP dev FastMCP, JSON. Hash run dev server with specific Python version. FastMCP dev server, PyPython 3.11. Hash run dev server with requirements file. FastMCP dev server, Py with requirements, txt. Hash run dev server within a specific project directory. FastMCP dev server, Py project path to project. The examples demonstrate the declarative configuration pattern for server management, where infrastructure concerns are separated from application logic through external configuration files and CLI-driven execution. This approach treats server setup, dependencies, and runtime parameters as configuration rather than code, enabling consistent environments across development, testing, and deployment. What distinguishes this pattern is its ability to handle complex dependency graphs and runtime variations without modifying the core server implementation. The pattern works by externalizing all environment-specific details into either JSON configuration files or CLI arguments, while the server itself remains a pure logical component. FastMCP's CLI acts as an interpreter between your declarative configuration and the runtime environment, automatically handling dependency isolation through UV, transport protocols, and environment setup. This creates a clean separation where developers focus on server logic in Python files, while operations teams manage deployment parameters through configuration, reducing the "it works on my machine" problem by making environments reproducible and explicit. This approach matters because it solves the dependency and configuration held common in Python projects, particularly for AI tooling where environments must be both isolated and reproducible. The pattern is ideal for scenarios requiring rapid iteration via FastMCP dev, production deployment via FastMCP run, or client integration via FastMCP install, all while maintaining a single source of truth for server configuration. The trade-off is a slight learning curve for the configuration schema, but the payoff is elimination of manual environment setup and consistent behavior across all stages of development. Let's break it down. Hash run dev server with editable mode and additional packages. FastMCP dev server, PyE, with pandas with matplotlib. This launches a development server in editable mode with explicit package dependencies. The E flag installs your local package in editable mode, letting you modify code without reinstalling, while with ensures pandas and matplotlib are available to the server. Critical for iterative development where you're actively changing both the server and its dependencies. Hash run dev server with FastMCP, JSON configuration, auto-detects. FastMCP dev. This runs the dev server using automatic configuration detection. FastMCP looks for a FastMCP, JSON, file in the current directory, eliminating manual flag specification. The pattern follows convention over configuration, reducing boilerplate for standard setups. Hash run dev server with explicit FastMCP, JSON file. FastMCP dev FastMCP JSON. This explicitly specifies a configuration file for the dev server, overriding the default auto-detection. Use this when you need deterministic behavior across environments or want to maintain separate configurations for different deployment scenarios. #run dev server with specific Python version. FastMCP dev server, Python 3.11. This forces the dev server to use Python 3.11, ensuring version-specific compatibility. Critical when your project requires exact Python versioning, preventing subtle runtime errors from version mismatches. #run dev server with requirements file. FastMCP dev server, with requirements txt. This command launches the dev server while installing dependencies from a requirements file. It eliminates manual pip install steps by handling package resolution automatically. Use this when your project needs specific package versions or non-standard dependencies. #run dev server within a specific project directory. FastMCP dev server, project path to project. This forces the dev server to use a specific project directory as its working context. Critical when your project files aren't in the current directory, it ensures FastMCP finds configuration files, dependencies, and source code in the intended location. Eliminates path-related issues during development. FastMCP CLI patterns. The command line interface bridges development and deployment, wherewith project and Python flags become your runtime environment's DNA. Environment variables and dependencies must be explicit. No implicit assumptions survive the isolated execution boundary. This is how you make servers portable across Claude Desktop, Cursor, and MCP.json configurations.
The server that forgets its environment becomes every environment.